belt squat. And when we do the belt squat, there's always going to be a little bit different variations as to what, you know, type of belt squat you're doing, whether it's a pitch shark, whether it's a rhino, whether it's like I got a jammer arm here. A lot of different variations we can do with this. The big key here is make sure whenever we start, we have that belt wrapped around right up top of the hips here. Depending on the variation we're doing, we may or may not have hands attached to anything. So for example, the only way I can do it in my gym with a little bit of external stability is to hold on to something here, which can get a little tricky when you have plates on the actual jammer arm here. But same concept applies. We want to get down as deep as possible into that low range and then drive right back up. The big key here is we don't want to get so far down that, especially as we fatigue, we use too much low back. So it can be tempting with the belt squat to get so low that, hey, I let that lower back really round down a little bit, maybe a little bit more longer than I might if I was doing a back squat or a front squat. Try to avoid that. In addition, depending on which way I want you to, or which part of the leg I want you to target, determines how far your knees and hips go. Meaning, if I want a more quad dominant belt squat, I'm going to be a little more upright here and try to stay a little taller as I go down. If I want it to be a little more hip dominant, I'm going to sit the hips back a little more, get a little bit wider as best as possible, and then drive more to the backside of my heel. If we've talked about this before, where we want to, like on a max effort set, for example, where we're trying to just stimulate as much hypertrophy as possible, let's say, hey, I can't get, we're going for 15 reps, I get to 11 or 12, and I can't get all the way down and then right back up without using a lot of upper body. I then might shorten the range a little bit and go into a slight, like partial to finish out. So I've gotten all I can out of this range here. I can't get any more. So then I try to go down to maybe like mid-range and try to really fatigue all the muscles in the quads as best as possible there, so that when I'm done with the set, I can accurately say I could not have done another set as difficult as that one. So another key point, we probably talk, if we're doing that, it'll be in the description, but this is a great option to make sure we're not loading the spine and we can maximally fatigue everything in the lower body without putting weight on your back.